Hello everyone, Dr. Catherine Macy here with staff at the School of Martial Arts, getting to do another meditation talk. These are really parts of the highlight of my week when I get to do them. We get one more person coming in, that's awesome. And today we are talking about quick decisions. Because the question of the week this week is, how do you stay decisive without jumping to conclusions? It's a really great question, and it is something that is really hard to do sometimes. But I did some Googling, and I've got some little ideas, and went to some of my favourite Zen places to get answers from today, which I'm hoping you'll enjoy those too. So one of the places where quick decision making comes up is in the business world, and they have a very different viewpoint of quick decision making than people in Zen do. So in the business world, quick decision making is all about having clear communication, being able to have a process, being able to not make your meetings too bogged down, making sure that they've got an agenda to them, all that kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't think that's really the situation we're really thinking about here. Because we want to make sure that we personally are not making decisions too quickly in our lives, right? So, making those decisions quickly, but without jumping to conclusions, right? And one of the things I did come across was the 3 C's to decision making. I did quite like this. It's to clarify, consider, and to choose. I thought that was really good advice. Because if you clarify what it is that you want from your decision, it's probably going to help you a lot. You consider it, that's good information too. But we don't want to get bogged down in the considering of. Because if we get bogged down in the considering of, then it doesn't go anywhere. I'm going to talk some more about that later. And then you just choose. And then that whole point of choosing is like, well, have you jumped to conclusions while you're choosing? Or have you not? There's the question. And to me, jumping to conclusions implies that you expect an outcome from the choice that you make without necessarily having considerable consequences of what might happen, right? So with any decision, can we truly know what the outcome is going to be before we've made this decision and done the thing? Probably not. I mean, maybe if you decide to open the door and you open the door opens, yes. But when we're talking about more complex life things, it's not necessarily going to be true. Is it going to be better for me to take a new job or stay in the one I'm in? Is it going to be better to get out of the relationship that I'm in or stay in the one that I'm in? Is it going to be better to buy a new house or stay in the house I'm in? Who knows? I don't know. Is it better to buy this house or that house? Probably. Who knows? Unless there are some very big differences in the cost and to the consequences of your decision, it probably doesn't matter. You can probably go with either one and be happy with either decision. So, that being said, we'll say some more about some of these things. So, I really like this. I really like this little quote that I have here, and it was. Oh no, I didn't write down who it was from. That was a little bad. But it says, in Zen you are taught to rely on intuition and act without hesitation. This is to act without first making a decision. And rushing is another form of hesitation. When you rush, you stumble. So I thought that was really interesting, and I think that is tied in with the jumping to conclusions part of the question, right? Where you're doing things so quickly that you're not considering the consequences, or you are assuming too much too fast, so that you're not considering both sides of your decision that you're making, right? So that rushing without due consideration is something that we'd like to avoid. And we're asked to make those decisions without hesitation. But where's the hesitation? Like, having a lot of thoughts and feelings about something is with what the hesitation is, right? And if we delve into too many thoughts and feelings about something, then we start thinking about whatever that is, whatever the choices that we have to make, and it abstracts ourselves, like pulls ourselves back out from being present to what our body's telling us about our decision that we want to make right here, right now, right? So when we pull away from reality, which is what our body's telling us, what our body's informing us, not really what our brain and our head is thinking about, because that goes around in all sorts of circles and spirals and goes on roller coaster rides. Not usually very helpful. So if we can bring the decision back to our hearts and bring our decision back to our intuition, we can feel that, like, not as in feelings as in emotions, but we can feel the body, and the body can tell us what the right answer is, because it's really intelligent. And we want our whole body-mind to be making the decision, and then we can feel into the decision and make it from a place of centeredness and calmness, and allow ourselves to intuitively, but really what that means is bringing in all the information that we have in our bodies to make a decision, right? When we're doing martial arts and somebody's punching at us, I'm not considering what to do, right? Well, I guess I am, but it's like a split second, right? I'm getting out of the way. So that decision is made from many years of practice, right? It's not something that I can go, well, if I stay here, I'm going to get hit, and if I move out of the way, that's probably going to be a better choice. I don't have time to make that decision, but I've already made that decision because I've practiced it more than 1,000 times, right? So in that case, the decision really is to be in my center, to be calm, to breathe, to be paying attention to my breath, so that I can be present to the punch that is coming at me right at my face right now. If I'm not centered, if I'm not in that calm place, if I'm not in my body, and my mind is busy thinking about, I don't know, what I'm going to do when I get home, which, I don't even know what I'm going to do when I get home. I'm here, right? So if my mind is thinking about all those things, then I can't effectively get out of the way of the punch. I have to be right here, right now, in the present, to be able to make that decision quickly and to be able to act on that with intention and without hesitation, without stumbling, right? Without jumping to conclusions. I would be jumping to conclusions if I thought that after the front punch they're going to throw a hook punch. But not necessarily, right? I've got to be present to what they're actually doing after they've thrown their front punch, because I don't know what they're going to do after that. But I'm jumping to conclusions if I'm thinking about what it is that might be coming next. Right? I went and I found some words, wise words by Leo Babauta, who has had a blog and writes about habits and Zen, and has done for a large number of years. He's a minimalist, I love his writing. He's very, very clear on a lot of things. He talks about indecision and how it costs us so much. Like the cost of not making decisions is a lot of time. You're going back and forth, you're questioning our decisions, right? Asking others for their opinion, avoiding thinking about the decision, and so on and so forth. Like so much. Like it costs us a lot of stress. And it delays projects, it delays us getting on with our lives, and we feel guilty because we keep putting things off. Cicero, who's a Roman statesman, he said, "More is lost by indecision than wrong decision. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. It will steal you blind." So that's words from, 2,500 years ago, still holds true. And why do we have this indecision? What is it about indecision that we hold on to it so tightly? Maybe we fear what the outcome's going to be, and when we fear, we worry, and we get into our head about all the things that might go wrong if we make this decision, or go wrong if we make that decision, or what if this thing happens, and what if that thing happens, and we're going a whole big rabbit hole down there. So, and it's not like you can not have fear. Fear is going to be present, right? But there's an aspect of being able to be with the fear, acknowledging it in your body, and saying, okay, so this fear is telling me something. Let's feel into that. What's my body telling me about that fear? Is it just worries about the future, potentially? Or is it really worried about something that's true right here, right now? Or am I catastrophizing about something? Right? So, being able to distinguish between your fears is helpful. Yeah. So we worry about making the wrong decision because we think it's going to make us look bad, or we think that somehow it makes us a bad person if we make a mistake, or all sorts of things. We want validation from people, all those things, right? We want people to think we're doing well in life. We want to do well in life. And when we are worried about that not happening, it can stop us from making a decision that could have us doing what we do. And if we mess up, oh my gosh, we messed up. We're not perfect. But if we make a decision and it doesn't go the way that we wanted it to, that's such good information. So good. So we can choose to view those times as learning opportunities and go, you know what? It doesn't matter which way around I choose this, because I'm going to learn from it anyway. Whether it's a good decision or a bad decision. The decision is this, and then I can move on from there. Leo says to simply make decisions based on the best info you have, because that's all the information you have anyway, by the way. And then on your gut. You choose from your heart rather than get caught up in overthinking. You trust and you take action. And then you clean up any messes that get made if things don't work out. And then, like we were saying, if the consequences of a decision are more costly, take some more time over it, that's okay. But don't overthink it. Like, come back to it. Alright. I think I've said all of those things. That's good. And we get to practice these things. We get to practice making decisions each and every day. If we feel like we're not good at decisions, you get to practice them on the small things. What to eat for breakfast. What to put on at the beginning of the day. whether to part your hair on this side or that side. I don't know. Get to make those decisions that don't have big consequences, but practice making them so that you are developing your muscle for paying attention to yourself, paying attention to your heart, and choosing those decisions with intention. And practice making them more quickly. So that there's not like this, it doesn't take you 5 minutes to decide what to wear in the morning, or 30 minutes, as I know some people it takes. And just choose, wear it, it'll be fine. Wear something different the next day. It's all good. And then this passage I found from the Venerable Jinmoyo Ringe Sensei. I'm probably not pronouncing his name correctly. I like this. And this points to the decisions that we make every single day that are so simple and sometimes so hard. Take, for example, something as simple as sitting. It's time to sit, and you know that. But you start talking to yourself about how much you really don't feel like doing that, and how complicated and difficult it is. The decision was already made to sit, and now it's time to do so. You know this, but instead of simply following through with what you know to be true, you cover over what you already know by talking to yourself about how difficult it is. If you stop talking to yourself about how difficult it is for a moment, and simply pay attention to your experiencing it as it actually is, you could open past this state. Is it difficult to put one foot in front of the other and walk to the zafu? No. Is it difficult to sit down? No. Is it difficult to sit up straight for 30 minutes? Maybe for some people, but she says no. So what's difficult? Just the state that says, difficult, difficult. Instead of listening to a state, would it not be more intelligent to pay attention to your experiencing as it actually is? Yes, but it's easier to ignore what you know to be true. And ignoring is an old habit, isn't it? So I really like that because it points to when we have something that we know we should be doing, like sitting and doing our meditation, that little voice comes up and it says, but you don't want to do that right now. You have better things to do. Or you don't want to do that right now. Your dog needs to go out. Or you don't need to do that right now. You can do that later. Or you don't need to do that right now. It's difficult. But it doesn't have to be. Because the easiest thing in the world is taking those steps to your cushion or your bench, wherever it is that you sit to meditate in the day, and taking that time to just sit and be with you and be with the present with you. And when you can do that, that helps you be in touch with yourself, helps you be in touch with your heart, so that when you have the other decisions to make in the world throughout the day, it's easier because you're already in touch with you. So with that, we'll sit. Thank you. Sit, spine straight, chin parallel to the floor, eyes slightly upturned, hands relaxed at your hips or on your thighs. Let go of any worries, cares or concerns. I'm going to start with 5 breaths. Start with the breath out. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, slightly longer than the inhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Hold. Exhale and end with a double exhale. Let the breath come in. Let the breath go out. And just watch your breath. Don't try to control it. And when your mind takes you away from your heart and your experiencing, come back to the